Hello, and welcome to the first episode of County Perspective in the year 2022. Now, this show focuses on Frederick County government, local programs and events, and the community that you live in. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa, and thank you for joining us today. Frederick County government has been kicking off the new year strong, so let's not waste any time and jump right in today's top news stories. After collaborating with municipal elected officials and law enforcement leaders, Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner unveiled legislation to establish a police accountability board. The board would be charged with overseeing the process for complaints of misconduct made against law enforcement officers who serve in Frederick County's 4 local law enforcement agencies: the Frederick County Sheriff's Office, the Frederick City Police Department, the Brunswick Police Department, and the Thurmont Police Department.
Well, what they're going to do is basically look at complaints against police officers for misconduct. And that misconduct could be very broad, from something as simple as a discourtesy complaint, for a driving too fast complaint, to a brutality complaint. So it's basically oversees the police disciplinary process.
A public process will be used to gather input on the legislation before it is officially introduced. Executive Gardner will host a virtual town hall on the proposed legislation on Monday, January 24th at 7 p.m. to engage the general public. The town hall will be aired on FCG-TV cable channels 19 and 1085 and streamed live from the county website at frederickcountymd.gov. Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner unveiled 3 pieces of land use legislation. One bill would support farmers who want to establish a roadside farm stand to sell their produce and other farm products. The proposal would streamline the approval process for farm stands and allow small farm stands under 600 square feet to be constructed without a building permit. A second bill would establish a design criteria and a review process for an emerging industry in Frederick County to ensure that development happens well. The final piece of legislation ensures an open, transparent process to notify the public when a comprehensive rezoning of multiple properties is proposed by the county.
Our goal is to be agile and to support keeping this industry economically viable as we accelerate our agricultural preservation efforts. And certainly our shared goal is to set high standards for development, to ensure our bright future, and to protect our high quality of life and the things we value most about Frederick County.
All 3 pieces of legislation can be found at frederickcountymd.gov/executive. The County Council will hold a workshop on the proposals on January 25th. COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations remain high in Frederick County. The majority of hospitalizations continue to be unvaccinated individuals. Residents are encouraged to get vaccinated and boosted when they are eligible. All Marylanders aged 12 and older are now eligible for a COVID-19 booster 5 months after completing their second dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Upcoming clinics are posted on frederickcountymd.gov/COVID vaccine for upcoming health department vaccination clinics.
What happens over time is you lose some of the immunity from the initial doses, the initial courses of the vaccine. So it's important to get boosted so that you have a consistent and predictable immune response.
Boosters are available at all vaccination clinics. The Oak Street Vaccination Clinic recently changed its address to 585 Himes Avenue. Scheduling an appointment is the best way to guarantee a vaccination, but some walk-ins will be taken as supply allows. For help scheduling an appointment, call 855-MD-GO-VAX between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. 7 days a week. It is officially the beginning of the new year, and many of us are starting off 2022 with some New Year's resolutions, and so is the County Council. Now, the County Council is a very important piece to county government. They enact, repeal, amend, and oversee all public laws that will affect how our county operates. Watch this video to find out what the council has in store for 2022.
Well, we have quite a few issues that we're going to be grappling with this year. One of the first things out of the bat will be legislation dealing with the environment and electric vehicles. We have legislation coming forward dealing with police accountability that we have to do because of legislation that passed at the state. We will have legislation dealing with building codes, and we have legislation coming forward dealing with housing and affordable housing. So we've got a lot of stuff on our plate for the next couple months. And of course, we have the budget coming up this spring, and that's going to have some rather lengthy discussions, again, because of legislation that was passed at the state. Blueprint for Excellence, which is the state education bill that they just passed. We have some funding issues that are going to have to be dealt with because of that legislation. So we've got some biggies.
The next thing I would say would be to try to get Winchester Hall back open to the public. Whether we're all wearing masks, whether people are in here, especially for public testimony, public hearings, we're just going to try to do things as safe as possible, but yet try to get back to normal, try to get through this. Yes, we have, our legislative duties, and they will go on until the end of June. At that point, we pretty much will be doing what needs to be done to continue to run county government, but no new legislation can be enacted. It's an election year, so that kind of ties, the county council's hands in that regard.
Anything dealing with land use, we cannot touch after the 1st of July. So we have some stuff that we really need to move quickly. And that doesn't even, again, encompass the budget, which is going to be a little bit more tricky this year. The upcoming year is going to prove to be fun. Election years are always exciting, and us trying to get through all the legislation that we have to get done at the same time. Several of us are running for either our jobs on the council again or for other positions. That makes it a challenge to balance all of those efforts, and so this should be a fun year. It doesn't help that we're still dealing with the COVID pandemic, but we have gotten through this before, and we will continue to do so, and making sure that we're continuing to do our job for the residents of Frederick County. Easiest way to contact the county council is to send us an email, which is councilmembers, all one word, at frederickcountymd.gov, and that'll get to all 7 council members in one swoop.
I'm looking forward to 2022, and I just want it to be a healthy, prosperous year for us here in Frederick County.
It's time to take a quick break, but we'll return with more on County Perspective. Welcome back to County Perspective. I'm your host, Brandon Rosa. Now, in just a few minutes, we'll look at how our local forensic nurse with the Child Advocacy Center and Frederick Health Hospital, Pamholtzinger, earned one of the most prestigious awards in nursing. But before we do that, let's see what furry little buddy is looking for you to take them home in this episode's Pet of the Week.
If you're looking for a fun and energetic cat, then let us introduce you to Loki. It takes him a few days to settle in, but then he's all about attention. Loki runs to greet visitors and is happy to receive pets or playtime. Loki prefers to keep his feet on the ground, so he's not really a cat who wants to be picked up or sit on a lap, but he will cuddle up next to you. Loki adores other cats and is quick to make new friends, making him perfect for multi-cat households. To learn more about Loki and our adoption process, call Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center at 301-600-1546.
Pamholtzinger has been a forensic nurse with the Child Advocacy Center since 2014. Her hard work and dedication in her career is what earned her the Virginia A. Lynch Pioneer Award in Forensic Nursing. This award is the highest honor given by the International Association of Forensic Nurses and is given to one individual annually. Let's take a look. Pamela Holtzinger has been a forensic nurse for Frederick Health Hospital in the Frederick County Child Advocacy Center since 2014. Through her journey over the years, she went above and beyond to receive a doctorate degree in nursing, the highest degree possible in the field of nursing. Her pathway to becoming a forensic nurse started back in 1994.
In 1994, I was working at Shady Grove Adventist Hospital, and at the time, my nurse manager had learned about a new training which involved nurses getting specific training on how to care for patients who had been sexually assaulted. And so the intent was to start a similar program at Shady Grove Adventist Hospital, which was one of only a few in the state at the time. And I was approached about taking that. My boss at the time pursued me and asked me if I would give her a year. I realized the value of it and how important it was. So obviously, I've stuck with it since then.
Now she does forensic examinations on children and adults who have suffered from abuse. Being a forensic nurse isn't your typical 9-to-5 job.
We're evaluating our patients to determine what their health needs are, and we're also considering safety needs, which is very critical as we're talking about patients who have been impacted by some sort of an abuse or assault. Our evaluation of our patients includes doing a physical exam and evaluating what we need to do to care for them. This role in particular demands a lot of flexibility because in order for us to do our work, we need to respond when the patients need us. So it's never as easy as clocking in and clocking out at the end of the day.
Pamholtzinger's hard work and dedication of being an extraordinary forensic nurse didn't go unrecognized. Her colleagues saw her passion in forensic nursing and decided to submit her name to the International Association of Forensic Nurses to nominate her for the Virginia A. Lynch Pioneer Award. And she won.
I actually was here seeing a patient, and I checked my email before I left, and one of my peers on the Eastern Shore had gotten called in, and she emailed me really quick, and she said, "Hey girl, congratulations, you go." And I didn't know what she was talking about, but she put the link in it. And I hit the link and it went right to the awards page. And there I was. To win this award is truly a great honor. For me, it would be a lifetime achievement, but it wasn't something that I was looking to get.
Once a year, only one nurse can receive this elite award in the whole world. To get this award, Pamholtzinger had to be a pioneer in nursing, just like Virginia Lynch.
Virginia Lynch is what we refer to as the mother of forensic nursing. She was the brainchild behind this idea of forensic nursing in the 1970s and early 80s. She is the one who has led this charge that has become an international phenomenon in nursing. That's where this award came from. It's about demonstrating initiative and coming up with different pathways that would help promote what we do in forensic nursing and how we care for our patients, education and training, community involvement.
With more than 27 years in nursing and the Virginia A. Lynch Pioneer Award under her belt, Pamholtzinger doesn't plan to stop now.
We have a lot of work to do here, and I have enlisted very good talent to be able to grow and continue to grow this program and resource for this community, and we are moving in that direction. It's been such a wonderful opportunity to be well supported by not only the hospital, but the county at the Child Advocacy Center to come together on many different levels to improve the care of our patients here in the community. I would really like to finish that out. I'd really like to be able to come up with something that is going to sustain the test of time.
The holiday season is over, but there are still plenty of activities Frederick County has to keep you busy. Check out some of the great programs that county departments are offering. If you'd like to find out more about virtual events and programs and activities that are going on in the county, just visit the county's webpage, frederickcountymd.gov. Now, at the end of our show, we like to mention a few recent events along with things our viewers should keep an eye out for in the upcoming weeks. Do you know a friend, a family member, or a loved one who suffers from dementia? Do you want to find out more about this disease, support, and the key signs to look out for? Well, the Frederick County Senior Services Division, the Dementia Friendly Frederick Committee, and the Lewy Body Dementia Association invite you to join them on Tuesday, January 25th, for a special virtual event, Living Well with Lewy Body Dementia, featuring the documentary Spark, Robin Williams and his battle with Lewy Body Dementia. They will be offering this event 2 times on Tuesday, January 25th at 11:30 a.m. and at 7 p.m. Each program will last approximately 90 minutes. Both events are free. You can register for these events at frederickcountymd.gov/8274/SPARK. If you can't participate in the virtual events, you can find more information about the disease by visiting ibda.org. This year marks the 36th year our country has observed Martin Luther King Day, which was first to become an official holiday in 1986. On this day, we should all take some time to remember what Martin Luther King did for our country, our freedom, and our rights. County Executive Jan Gardner spoke on behalf of Martin Luther King Day. Take a listen.
Today, we remember the powerful work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a man who fought hard to preserve the best of America's principles and values. Dr. King urged all of us to serve, to stand up for things that matter, and to always do what is right. More than 50 years have passed since Dr. King's assassination, and yet his words still ring true today. He told us that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Dr. King had a dream of a world where everyone could prosper and thrive, where everyone is treated fairly and with dignity and respect. His actions helped to change the course of history, and they continue to inspire us decades later. He called each of us to action and asked what we are doing for others. We honor his birthday with a day of service. Dr. King would be proud of our community's renewed focus on justice and equity. This past year, Frederick County government officially created an Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion to ensure that we are doing our part so we can lead by example. Everyone deserves to share in our community's prosperity and fully participate in civic life. We accomplish this through our demonstrated commitment to provide equitable programs, policies, and by embracing diversity and inclusion in all that we do. And now I'll read a proclamation in honor of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Whereas the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. continues to inspire generations of Americans who, like King, dream of living in a more equitable and loving society. And whereas we all owe a great deal of debt to Dr. King, who bravely stood up against the injustice of his day, mobilizing thousands of ordinary Americans in a decade-long crusade for civil rights that succeeded in securing voting rights and many protections against discrimination for African Americans and ushered in a new era in American history where every citizen, regardless of race, color, or creed, could learn, work, worship, and participate in public life together as one. Whereas we seek to honor Dr. King, who would make the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life for the cause of racial and social justice. And whereas we seek to continue Dr. King's important fight today in our own communities as we work towards ensuring opportunity for all, fighting racism wherever we encounter it, and rooting out all forms of discrimination as they still exist. And whereas we know our continued service and commitment to the mission of freedom and justice for all is the greatest tribute we can make to his life and legacy. So now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, I do hereby recognize January 17th, 2022 as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Frederick County and commend this observance to all of our citizens. And it's signed by me, Jan Gardner, the County Executive of Frederick County, Maryland, and presented this 17th day of January, 2022.
Well, that's it for this episode of County Perspective. But don't forget to follow Frederick County on social media in order to keep up to date on important news and events. We'll see you next time for a fresh look from a county perspective.